welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game, One Piece time, and as you can see there have been some starter deck reveals. These are primarily going to be green reveals, we've got a couple of blue ones tossed in there. Let's go ahead and get started, but first I want to give a little recap on what we already have from these starter decks, just so that context is there in your mind. So at the moment we have the leaders and we've got a couple cards from each of their starters. So reminder on Crocodile. 5 life, 5,000 power, special, 7 Warlords of the Sea, and Baroque Works. Activate main, once per turn, don -4, bounce a level 5 or lower character to its opponent's hand. So obviously, when you read this, initially you go, okay, this doesn't seem very good. Crocodile, I think, of all the leaders, is really going to be dependent on his support. Luffy is inherently incredibly powerful. Kid, as we'll see, is inherently incredibly powerful. Kaido is inherently okay, but not fantastic. But Crocodile, more than anything, really needs that core of support around him. So we will see how good that ends up being. Kid, as I said, very strong. Is a super rookie. Kid Pirates, 5k power. Once per turn, you pay 3, and you pitch a card and you switch him to active. So every single turn, basically, if you want, you can be going swing, 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 swing. This is potentially very powerful if we get cards that buff power for the turn, for example. And that may or may not be a hint as to something we will be seeing. But yeah, Kid, very, very strong. It's very much that aggro sort of style. But, I mean, this is equally strong as a control tool, right? Like, this lets you kill units. This really gives you that flexibility. And, to be honest, is probably the best leader. I think it's a toss-up between Luffy and Kid for the strongest leader intrinsically. But I think I'd have to give it to Kid because, attacking twice continuously is very, very strong. And again, it's even better when you consider the fundamental mechanic of Dons in this game, where you can slap 2 on, and then you can restand him, and suddenly he's going 7/7. That's very, very powerful. Anyway, let's then have a look at the cards which we saw a little while ago. So those are going to be this Kid here, this SR Kid, and this SR Crocodile. So let's see what these guys do, just again as a recap. As we know, they're quite good. So the Kid here, it's a 7,000 power blocker, don -1 when your turn ends, which is characters are active. So this is absolutely one of the best cards in the starter. 7,000 power is very large, not super easy to hit. So 7k blocker means that you are essentially going to be blocking most things fairly easily, and you can quite easily keep Kid alive as well. And your opponent's never going to be able to attack it on their own terms because you are always going to be able to just keep him active. Crocodile, also a blocker, 6,000 power on a 5 cost, so more efficient in that sense. Don -1 when blocking, return up to 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of the deck. So this is actually going to be very useful in sniping away low cost, engine pieces, right? So like your Namis, your choppers, is it Jinrami? I think Jinrami's the low cost blockers, the low cost things that do nice things. So that Crocodile I think is also very, very nice. And you get to do it when blocking, so that's something that could potentially completely screw up your opponent's turn as well. So yes, now we have that context, let's go ahead and look at the new cards we've seen. So first, we have got Scalpel. So this is the one event we've seen so far for the green deck. Cost 1, Super Rookie Heart Pirates. Counter, your leader or up to one of your characters gains 2,000 power for the duration of the battle. Then, switch one of your Dons to active. And as the trigger, you get to switch up to 2 of your Dons to active. How good is this? I'm personally, at the moment, not a fan, but it's really going to depend on the event support that deck gets access to. Obviously, later on in the game, if you stockpile a handful of these really powerful events, it is going to be nice to just be able to go playing them for free. But equally, later on in the game, you're probably also going to be fine just leaving an extra Don untapped. I don't know. I'm not convinced there's anything amazing. And the trigger to switch up to 2 of your Dons to active is also is that good? I don't think that sounds amazing. It's really going to depend on the event support. So, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this card, but I completely concede that it may get much better in the future. Then we've got Beppo. Cost 1, 3k power striker with a count of 1,000. Frankly, the count of 1,000 is the best thing this card has going for it. My god, when you compare this to the 1-drop Luffy gets, it is disappointing. What is not disappointing, however, is Trafalgar D. Waterloo. Oh my god, this guy. Okay, so can I say Law has the highest quality cards out of any character so far. So cost 5, 6,000 power slasher, Supernova and Heart Pirates. So I will say some of the translations on here, Supernova and Super Rookie, same thing. Just some of them are the English translations, some of them are Japanese. Counter 1000, so immediately that's a W because you can always pitch it if you don't need it. On play, set one of your rested characters with super rookies or heart pirates with a cost of 5 or less to active. That is absolutely insane. Really, really, really strong. This is going to let you gain advantage with double attacking, to reactivate blockers, to just... it's good. It is very good. I think clear is very good. I don't think I need to elaborate. That's very, very, very strong. Also very, very strong, I will say, that promo kid that gains double attack is looking better and better by the goddamn nanosecond. Oh, it's going to be so expensive. What is it with Bandai and Green always getting broken promo? Anyway, then we've got Killer, another very strong card here. So, 3 cost, 3,000 power slasher. It's Supernova Kid Pirates. It has a 1,000 power counter, so you can always pitch it. The trigger plays it, and the trigger will also trigger its on play, so however it enters the board, KO one of your opponent's rested character with a cost of 3 or less. And when you consider the format, purple, not necessarily going to be having that many targets, maybe your Jax or something. Red is going to be having Sanji, Zoro, as very, very easy targets for this ability. Then, yeah, this is really, really good. I mean, fundamentally, a trigger that plays a card for free is always going to be something you want to consider. But this having an on-entry to just, like, fucking nuke something. And, you can just assign 3 dons to it on your next turn to make it 6k, and you'd be hitting over and being threatening. Yeah, I think this card is very, very strong. Definitely one of the best cards in the starter deck. Obviously, if we see a meta where there's basically nothing 3 cost or lower that's getting run, then it's going to suck. But if red is at all relevant, I don't think that's going to happen. Then we've got Heat. This is a 2 cost vanilla. It's going to get cut ASAP. On to a couple blue cards now. So first we've got an event here, Love, Love, Beam. This is 7 Warlords of the Sea and a Kuja Pirates. So obviously Shichibukai is going to be that overarching trait. Counter your leader or up to one of your characters gains 4,000 power for the duration of the battle, and this is on 2 cost. Then if you have 3 cards or less in your hand, draw 1. Now I think this is much better than Scalpel because, I mean, frankly, if I'm going to be using an event, I need to be getting some very nice benefit from it as a counter, like Borrow Breath is a good example. And so 4,000 power is definitely meeting that. Now, I'm paying 2 for this. That's pretty hefty. What am I getting for paying 2? Well, I get to replenish my hand. I get to get something back for it. Late game, I can see that being really, really nice. I will say, like, it's also kind of janky. Like, it's always nicer to just, like, not have to worry about paying costs and stuff. But maybe this is pretty good. It definitely reads like a reasonably strong card, which we'll just need to see more of the support to assess, like, whether or not it's actually that good. But I think this is pretty decent. Oh, Hancock. This is a 3 cost 1,000 power unit. It has blocker, counter for 1,000, and the trigger to play this card. So obviously the real reason you're playing it there is that trigger. You never actually really want to be playing this card for 3 if you can avoid it. You're just going to be pitching it with a 1,000 to just not take some damage. And that's better in the early game when you don't really have the mana to afford to just slam this down. But then later on in the game you're happy just playing it. Being a 3 cost may help it get around some sorts of restrictions, but yeah, I think this is a powerful card. I think the reaction I saw was quite negative on this. I think a blocker that plays for free is always going to be quite strong, so I would not sleep on this at all. On to the green reveals again. We've got Basil Hawkins here, cost 5, 6,000 power, Supernova and Hawkins Pirates. Don 1, once per turn, during your turn, if this character battles an opponent's character, set this character to active. So basically, once per turn you get to swing in for free, and then either keep this guy alive or swing into leader. With this guy being a 6,000 power unit, that means it's going to be very high value if you put even 1 Don on it, 7,000. It's very annoying. That's guaranteed 2 cards going out of your opponent's hand if you attack their leader. And 7,000 power clears basically everything in the game. With a few exceptions, so you're going to be able to very easily just chuck this guy into a unit. It's going to die. You're going to get the untap, and then you can go ahead and reset it to active. And even if you don't clear, oh well, you still get to untap. Yeah, I think Hawkins is pretty good. Then we've got Dracul Mihawk. So our final blue card, I believe, for these set of reveals. This cost 5,000 power. Don 1, when attacking, draw 2 and discard 2. That could be quite good. We'll need to see. I mean, obviously, filters always like decent. You get to at least unbrick your hand potentially, and the fact that you can potentially do it every single turn is obviously quite nice. But mainly counter 2,000 means that this card is 100% probably going to be in the deck. well, 100% probably is a very stupid thing to say, but I think having a counter of 2000 is really, really good. So certainly, unless the deck, like, gets just way better options in the main set, which is, very plausible. I think this guy's going to stay in just because that counter 2000 and an unbricking effect can be quite nice. If nothing else, you might want to lay a couple of copies. Then back into green. Oh, we spoiled one of the best cards. I don't know. Let's talk about Apu first. 2 cost 3000 power. Is a 2000 counter. That is, again, very, very nice. Don 1 when attacking, rest one of your opponent's dons. That means this is attacking for 4k. I cannot help but compare this card to Sanji. I think, Sanji really sets the standard when it comes to how good a 2-drop needs to be in their archetype. And Sanji is fucking amazing. This card is not fucking amazing. This card is fine. You realistically, you're going to have to slap 2 dons on it for it to be doing anything. And it doesn't have rush. It doesn't have any way of gaining rush at the moment. So at the moment, your opponent gets an entire turn to just either tap out or like play around it in some other way. I am aggressively not a fan of this card at the moment. Now it may be very good, meta dependent. It may be very good, but I think from what we've seen, I expect this card to get cut, even with it being a 2000 power, counter. I think the best comparison of this card is really to Brook, and Brook, despite reading pretty good, nothing amazing. Obviously, the 2000 power counter is like the big selling point, and if that ends up being very, very valuable, we don't get better replacements, then yes, this card will be good. But I don't know, man. I'm pretty hesitant. What I'm not hesitant on, however, is this boy X Drake. And I realise you can't quite... Oh, no, I didn't mean to make it disappear. Sorry, I realise you can't quite see the whole effect there. There we go. My god, this guy is ridiculous. Okay, X-Drake. 4 cost, 5000 power unit. Marines, Supernova, and Drake Pirates. Counter 1000, so you always have the ability to pitch it. Don 1. During your turn, so this is swing for 6k. While this character is rested, your Marine and Supernova type leader and characters gain 1000 power. So, firstly... if this ability is live, this card is swinging in for 7, which means he's a slightly more expensive Zoro, except he's so much better because he buffs your entire board. The only thing you're worried about is if your opponent has a way of removing this guy, and that's going to hurt. But otherwise, that means your leader's swinging in for 6k automatically, or 5k if all the main set leaders are 5k, or 4k. All your units are getting plus 1k, so if you have a developed board, this guy is insane. Obviously, you may lose him, except you can just play down a law to untap him, and then you're not going to lose him. Oh man, I think this guy is super good. Obviously, this guy in context with like Basil Hawkins, suddenly Hawkins is swinging in for like 8 and 8. That's very strong. This guy swings in for 7. Your leader swings in. Kid just double attacks, so you got to go boom boom. And then if you've got the other kid, you can double it. That guy has double strike or whatever, so he can you kill 2 life, and you can untap that with more. Yeah, it definitely feels like green has the most combo potential, by far the most interesting to me so far. Although I think blue may take that take that crown, but man, green looks fun. So there we go. Those are the new card reveals. At the moment, my impression is the green starter is by far the strongest. It really seems like it has insanely strong tools. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, or join my Discord server. We can talk about One Piece and stuff in there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe for more One Piece content, and I will see you guys in the next video when we get a nice new fat batch of card reveals, which may be soon, because it seems like the teaching tool may leak the entire contents of the remaining starters. So we'll see. Hopefully I will see you guys then. Cheers.